Hey, welcome to Studio Sunday. So today I am starting to ink covers for the newly updated, revised How to Draw book that we're going to put out soon on Kickstarter. It's going to be How to Draw, and I'm going to change from expanded edition to lessons for the new artist and the seasoned veteran. So this is not really a how to draw figures and cartoon characters. This is more like how to get better at what you're drawing and how to make what you're drawing work on a professional level if you want to get into comics and storytelling and have art that instead of just being stiff and proportionate, correct, but it's stiff. How do you get your character to throw a tank across the city? That kind of stuff. Motion, body language, how it works, expressions. How do you have more than just two expressions, grim and grimmer, for your hero, whatever. This isn't about how to draw superhero comics. It's more about just how to draw people. And I focus on the stuff that I like to do, which is women, beautiful, funny, expressions, body language, and then I'm adding a new chapter on Art Nouveau and a new chapter on inking. So that's very timely because today I am going to be inking the Art Nouveau cover for one of the versions of this. And so I'm going to run the camera over my shoulder. I can't talk and do this at the same time. It's not a performance art. I really have to just focus. So what I'll do is when I get down to inking, sorry about it, I can't tell you all the decisions I'm making, but I just focus on the inking part. So, but I'll run the camera and let you see what I'm doing. The idea is that there are 3 covers. The special hardcover has an Art Nouveau cover. And here's what I drew. Here's what I drew for that. Francine in an Art Nouveau pose. I don't know if I posted this. I'm not going to run this picture in here. I'm erasing that. It'll just be a blank tablet. So I blew that up to my 11 by 17. And as you can see, I don't need much. I just need the barest outline to know where I'm going. And then I'll go in on this, and by the time I finish it, all that other detail in the inking, it's in here. I don't need it on the page. I'm inking myself. But you can tell where I'm going to go with the inking by looking at where these pencil lines are and the indicators, where the flow of the cloth is, where the flow of the hair is, the breaks in the hair, the details in the flowers, the face, things like that. This is the simpler of the 2 covers I have ready to ink. The other one is for like the hardcover or soft cover. And I was running by ideas, and the basic idea would be to have Francine and Kachu, my 2 beloved characters, and I'm drawing them. That seemed appropriate for how to draw book. So I worked on that, and I got that drawing to turn into this. I worked on it a little bit, and there I am. This is a very flattering view of me, I know. I'm not really that tall. But yeah, so there's me drawing them on a big piece of paper. Robin said, you need to zoom out a little bit so we can tell that you're drawing them. You zoom out a little bit so you can see the edges of the paper or the canvas, whatever it is, and like put it on the easel or something. Yeah, whatever. So I did that, and I had that ready to go. So I put them up on a big canvas on one of those big easels that you see the pro painters use. I don't have one of those, but I know what they look like. And then I added some background stuff in the studio, an old vintage TV, a bookshelf, and a window, and then just to give it some variety. Do you see a problem here where I have detail up here? And ideally in the design world of comics, you want not a lot of clutter up here because you want to put your title there. And my How to Draw book will be How to Draw right across this. If I put the font right on top of this, as this is heavily detailed, they will be competing for each other. It'll look like, Here's the easel, here's the font. You figure it out. So there's ways around that. You can use a lighter touch on the art and fade this out a little bit to where it's muted, like at 50% opacity. Or you can put the flatter colors up here. Don't get anything too flashy up here. Put the how to draw there and have it in a bolder outline that in block letters, not skinny letters. So that if you used a skinny letter like a Zapif or something like that in your fonts, it would not be able to hold its own, not be able to stand up front on the front level. So I do know already that I have a pretty thick font for the how to draw. So what I'm going to do is, you can make a border around the font when you're in Photoshop or even in InDesign, and you can then make an outside glow. And don't think of glow like overdone, just think of this very hinted pale airbrush around the edge of the letter. The letter still has definition, it still has a hard line definition on the outline, but you've got this little white space that can be opaque, about 50% as well, around it, and it really helps it just bring it up front. So I'm thinking ahead about stuff like that when I'm drawing this. That's what I'm planning on doing, is save this, because what I don't want to screw this up just so it'll look good on the cover of a book. I want this to be a good drawing, a good image as well, which means I need to finish this, and I want that up there. So it's kind of a tug of war between, you want a finished piece of art that is cool, and then figure out a way to make it work on a book. There's two different things. Getting a piece of art that you love on a piece of paper is one thing. Getting it to fit a book format, that's a whole other deal. It's like trying to cram yourself into the refrigerator. You're great. The refrigerator's fine. Cram yourself into it, good luck. That's how it feels sometimes. I need a third cover. I don't know what I'm going to do. All I came up with was them walking, and that's not going to work. That's a nice sketch. It's not in the cover. It looks like a panel from a story. The reason why this won't work and I'm having trouble is because I don't have superheroes that fly, throw, smash, whatever, doing activity things. I have human beings that drink coffee and talk to each other. So when it comes time to make covers, I've always had a problem with what are they doing, and if you start looking for reference material in the internet or whatever, all you see is people walking the streets of New York and drinking coffee and talking to each other on a park bench, unless there's some sort of drama, and I don't want to put all the drama on the cover. I'm not gonna, it's not Desperate Housewives, where everybody's yelling at each other. So coming up with a pose that doesn't look like, forced, it's tricky. I mean, coming up with something you won't laugh at that looks like, oh, that's a sweet moment. Well, I've done a lot of comics and I've done a lot of covers. So the more you do, the harder it is not to duplicate yourself. And so somewhere that's not going to work. And if you look here, they're still standing there, but I got other stuff going on around them. And it's a nice image. It's a nice moment. And if you look here, she's sitting down. And I'm sure there's a cup of coffee over here somewhere. But you make it look cool. So the trick is be creative, Terry. Put on your big boy pants and figure it out. Because sometimes people are walking and talking or just sitting and talking to a friend and drinking a cup of coffee. And they look bloody cool. So that's my job. Think of that moment. Think of where the cool angle is on that. That's your job too if you're drawing covers. Try to draw covers for people that fly, jump, and smash things. You'll never run out of ideas. Okay, Art Nouveau. I'm doing this one first because it's easier than doing this one. This one has a lot of details. I need a real steady hand on all this. This one is Art Nouveau. I'm going to take a brush and just flow like crazy, just long flowing lines. You've seen me do it before. I know that it'll go well. So, yeah, I think it's good to have some confidence before you start. Not everything should be freaky, like, oh God, I don't know what I'm doing. We'll figure it out as we go. Sometimes that's fun, but when you need to do a cover that's going to go out in the world, and especially when it's a cover you have drawn and put on the cover of a book for everybody in the world to see, this is how you draw, how to draw, and here's the piece of art I put on it. There's a little bit of pressure there, isn't there? It can't be, just your average thing. It better be good. It'd be something you know how to do. So I know how to do that one. I know how to do this. I just got to figure it out one more time for that third option, and then I'll be good to go. All right, so you can tell I'm getting my serious brain on here. I will sit down and take this very seriously when I start inking. So that's why I don't want to talk. I want to focus on it and really make sure that I'm in the zone. Because if you're in the zone, then it's like you're playing music and it just works. If you're not in the zone, you go to muscle memory and you start hatching away at stuff. And when you look back at it, you think, well, crap, that's not a very pretty line, is it? I should have paid more attention and made it go, well, like that. That takes focus. So no music, no internet crap, no TV, no phone calls, no chatter. Focus and ink. All right, let's do it.